it never makes me not laugh. It really is just a funny thing. And I observe within myself, I'm often one of those people who, when I have something in my mind that I'm going to do it, I have to often psych myself up. I'm an introvert, I'm a projector, I tend to be quite inward. So for me to show outwards, I have to mentally prepare. And so if I get, something in my mind that it was supposed to go this way, and it's supposed to unfold in such a manner, and it's the expectations that I put can often do me an incredible amount of harm. I notice, how very often I energetically spend on resisting things that are already happening or resisting, what's right in front of me. And so today's class is a small example of that. I'm not saying that I'm handling it with a lot of grace. This is going to be highly, highly, highly humanly annoying if this doesn't work. But I don't know, I'm a big fan of trying to switch the narrative in life and choose the one that's most empowering, most freeing. So a small example of how that can actually be put into practice is this class. So maybe, alternative narrative, there is a reason why on this third attempt, it'll be the best class yet. What if this is exactly the way that I needed to show up to this class? This is the exact state of mind. This is the knowing. This is the place that I'm supposed to speak from. Maybe that's why the class repeatedly didn't work out. Maybe that's why this day is unfolding the way that it is. It's because I can't plan as well as the universe, God, whatever you want to call it is. So honestly, why do I resist? Why? So anyway, that's something I'd like to share with you, and that ties into this yoga practice because it allows you to sit with what is uncomfortable. It allows you these moments where you get to breathe into what already is, regardless of what it is. And that's what translates off of the mat. That's how yoga really becomes this transformative practice, because the spiritual practice, it is not separate from our humanness. It is one and the same. So the way that we respond when we have to do the same task 4 times over and over and over, we become frustrated, we become angry, we resist it. That is the same practice as yoga. And yoga is the same practice of that humanness. How do you want to show up? How do you want to be in that moment? So here's an imperfect human who is showing up and trusting that it's all going to be good and as it should. So with that, let's jump right in. Make your way into a wide knee child's pose. Knees are wide enough so that the torso can fall heavy between the inner thighs. And then you can allow the forehead to touch the ground, or you can choose to slide any props you'd like underneath. We won't be using any props necessarily within the class, but if you think that you'd be more comfortable with blocks and a half split, you're welcome to grab them, or for any other support. You're always welcome and encouraged to resource yourself in the way that you need to, whether my words indicate it or not. And now just find your breath. That breath, it's like curiosity personified. So now as it moves within the body, just notice how the body responds to every single breath you take. So you're welcome to stay right here with the arms extended, forehead down to the ground. Or we'll come into a gentle twist, sliding your right arm underneath the left. You can keep your left hand where it is. You could also bring your left hand to the right hand. That's a beautiful option. You could bring it to the low back or even the upper right thigh. So think of everything I say as this loose structure. And then you can build on it however you like. The framework is there just so you can take the mind a little bit out of the equation. You get to simply listen. But please know you are the creator. The breath communicates with sensation in its own unique way. You're here to listen. Okay. And then extend the left arm forward. Release the right arm. Take at least a round of breath with your neutral spine. And then when you're ready, slide your left arm underneath the right, and then take any arm variation that creates space for you. Let every inhale travel up the spine, and let every exhale travel down. Gently extend the right arm long, and then you can release the left arm forward. Once again, big inhale, inflate the back body. Exhale, heart softens towards the earth. Gently make your way to a tabletop position, shifting your shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. We'll jump right into it. Inhale, lower the belly towards the ground, spread through the sit bones, spread through the collarbones, squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another behind you. And on an exhale, begin to press into the tops of the feet, press into the palms, spread the place between the shoulder blades wide. Tailbone moves towards your knees. Navel towards the back body, chin to chest. We'll move a little bit quicker for 3 rounds. Inhale, pull the heart center forward, gaze up. Exhale, round the back body. Twice more, just like that, your pace. Next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Keep the hips above the knees and begin to walk the palms forward, melting your chest down towards the ground. Arms extended, forehead down to the earth. Let the upper body be really passive, so you can just melt into the shoulders, letting the chest fall heavy. The tailbone tilts high. A few rounds of breath here. This is our passive puppy dog pose. Come into our active puppy dog pose. Now we'll begin to tuck the tail towards the heels, towards the knees, navel up and in. Press the ground actively away from you so the shoulders shrug upwards by the ears, chin towards the chest. The forehead is probably lifted on the ground if all those other actions are happening. Now we'll move between those two shapes. Think cat-cow in the upper body. As you inhale, tilt the tail high, lower the chest. You can tilt your gaze slightly upwards. Exhale, tailbone towards the knees, chin to chest, round the back body. 3 more cycles of breath, your pace. And then slowly make your way back to that wide-kneed child's pose. Take a few rounds of breath. Let the shape take whatever form it needs to. Come back to that even rhythm of breath, in and out the nose. And feel the resonance of those openings within the body. And only when you're ready, make your way to downward facing dog. Use the first few rounds of breath to explore the shape. You can pedal the heels. You can bend the legs a lot. You can undulate the spine. Eventually finding stillness. Pressing the palms down and forward, shoulders by the ears. Lifting the tail high, hugging the navel up and in. Feeling the length in the side bodies, in the spine itself. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh out the mouth. Slowly walk your feet forward, come into a passive join me by interlacing your hands to the low back, extending your arms upwards, and maybe bringing them downwards towards the floor any amount. And then once you're here, feel free to wiggle in any way that it feels good to move. Our intention is to let the weight of the upper body create some space and traction in the low spine. So you can bend the legs a lot. And then release your fingertips down to the ground. Keep a soft bend in the knees, and then vertebra by vertebra, begin to lift the torso, rise all the way up with control. Soften the shoulders away from the ears, palms face forward, tailbone towards the heels, navel up and in. Gaze straight forward. So there's this stillness, but there's an incredible strength to this very simple shape. And then we'll infuse every breath, every shape rather, with breath. Big inhale all together. Exhale, big sigh, let it go. We'll move through two sunnies. Inhale, sweep the arms out, not palms to touch. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift the chest, halfway lift. Hands to the floor, step the feet back to a plank. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath. Spread your fingers wide. You can choose to keep the knees on the ground or not. Spread the shoulder blades wide. Tailbone towards the heels. Navel up and in. Engage your legs, engage your glutes. Find your breath. Breathe into whatever discomfort arises. It will for all of us. How would we like to show up within it? Good. Take in a full inhale there. Exhale, lower your knees, chest, forehead down to the earth. Inhale, ripple forward, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. A few rounds of breath. Feel what's moving. Feel what's shifting. On an inhale, walk, step, or hop your feet forward all the way between the hands, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, chest to thighs, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, reach the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift the chest, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, palms to the floor, step your feet back to a plank. Big inhale, get long. Exhale, lower down, your option. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to downward facing dog. Just a few breaths here. When you find stillness, feel what is subtle. Feel what's still in motion. Follow an exhale all the way out. Inhale, walk, step, or hop your feet forward all the way between the hands, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, chest to thighs, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, reach the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll move to our main flow. Ground through all four corners of the left foot. Find that navel up and in, tailbone towards the heels, strong core. And then hover the right thigh to a 90-degree angle. Standing staff pose. Bring the biceps by the ears, fingertips upwards, palms face towards one another, shoulders glide back and down the spine. Big inhale. Exhale to a vertical twist. Bring your left hand forward, right hand back. And you can choose to bring your right hand to the outside of the right leg if you like. Wherever you are, with every inhale, get tall from the left foot to the crown of the head. Exhales to rotate your right ribs back, left ribs forward. Inhale, reach the arms high, release the twist. Standing staff pose. Slowly, beginning on an exhale, make your way to an airplane lunge. You bend your left leg, step the right foot all the way to the back of the mat, coming onto the ball of the right foot, anchoring your left hip back in space, right hip crease steers forward, arms sweep by the side bodies, pinky fingers come in towards one another. Chest is at a 45-degree angle, finding that scissoring of the inner thighs. Breathe into whatever discomfort is within this shape. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale, Devotional Lunge. Cactus the arms, lift the chest, lower the right knee all the way down towards the floor. Sink into the hips, keep squeezing the shoulder blades towards one another. Elbows open up wide, lift through the heart space. Inhale, reach the arms high, low crescent lunge. Exhale to half split. Straighten your left leg any amount. And then here you can come up on a tented fingertips. You could also slide any props underneath the hands. Try to eliminate the space between the low belly and the upper left thigh. Bringing the toes back inwards towards the shin, lengthening through the center of the heart. You're welcome to stay exactly as you are. Or you can bring your left pinky toe down to the left, down towards the floor. See how that feels. You can also explore walking your fingertips up and over to the left any amount. Stay with the breath. And then gently walk your fingertips forward. We meet in a low lunge. Left knee right above the left ankle, plant the palms, engage your right leg, lift it off of the ground. Press the ground far away from you so the shoulders are already spreading wide. Inhale back to a plank. Exhale, lower down, your option. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. A few rounds to simply breathe. You could be in downward dog, child's pose, tabletop, handstand. Back in downward dog. Next inhalation, walk, step, or hop your feet forward all the way between the hands. Lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, chest to thighs, fold forward. Inhale, reach the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Standing staff pose. Ground through all four corners of the right foot. Hover the left thigh. Tailbone towards the heels, navel up and in. Extend the arms high. Soften the shoulders, back and down the spine. Big inhale, get long through the tips of the fingers. Exhale, vertical twist. Sweep your left arm back, right hand forward. You can bring your right hand to the outside of the left knee. Wherever you are with every inhale, find length. And as you exhale, see what space is now available to open into. Inhale, reach the arms high, standing staff. Exhale slowly towards airplane lunge. You'll bend into your right leg, step the left foot soundlessly towards the back of the mat. Arms sweep by the side bodies, pinky fingers try to touch behind you. You find that scissoring of the inner thighs. Left leg is strong and active. Follow and exhale all the way out. Inhale to high crescent lunge. Sweep the arms forward and up. Shoulders stacked above the hips. Ground into the feet. Keep lengthening through the center of the heart, the tips of the fingers. Big inhale. Exhale to Devotional Lunge. Cactus the arms, lift the chest, soften the left knee all the way down to the ground as you lift through the heart, sink into the front hip. Inhale, reach the arms high, low crescent lunge. Exhale to half split. Straighten your right leg any amount. You can come up on a tented fingertips, or once again, you could slide those two blocks underneath the hands. Lift through the tail, lift through the heart, eliminating the space between the upper right thigh and the abdomen. You can stay here, or you can keep this active flex right foot and lower it down to the right, pinky finger down towards the ground. Explore that, and maybe your wanderings will walk your fingertips Follow and exhale all the way out. Inhale, walk, step, or hop your feet forward all the way between the hands. Lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, chest to thighs, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise. Reach the arms all the way overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, standing staff, right leg lifts. Exhale, vertical twist, left fingertips back, right fingertips forward. Inhale, reach the arms high, standing staff. Exhale, airplane lunge, arms sweep by the side bodies. Inhale, high crescent lunge, stand tall. Exhale, devotional lunge, lower the right knee, lift through the heart. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Exhale, half splits, one breath. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale through plank, two plank. Exhale towards downward dog, your way. A few breaths in a neutral shape. Commit to moving through this next side, this next flow from the inside out. Follow and exhale all the way out. Inhale, walk, step, or hop your feet forward all the way between the hands. Lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, chest to thighs, fold forward. Inhale, reach the arms all the way overhead, palms to touch. Exhale, hands through to the heart center. Inhale, standing staff, left leg lifts. Exhale, vertical twist, left hand back, right hand forward. Inhale, standing staff, arms high. Exhale, airplane lunge. Inhale, high crescent lunge. Exhale, devotional lunge, left knee lowers, heart lifts. Inhale, low crescent lunge, arms high. Exhale, half splits, one breath. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, two plank. Exhale, lower down, your way. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to downward facing dog. Soften the knees down to the ground. Knees wide, big toes to touch, back where it all began. Child's pose. Reconnect to the slowest breaths in and out the nose that you can. And as you do, connect to that more quiet place within. Feel the body. Notice how it's speaking even in this moment. Through the residue of effort. As you're ready, make your way back to a downward facing dog. And then slowly walk your hands back towards your feet, making your way to a forward fold. Keep it really gentle. And then bend the legs, bend the knees, vertebra by vertebra. Begin to lift the torso, rise all the way up. We'll close class with some simple shaking. So open the feet at least hip distance apart, and then bend the knees so that the body can really be pretty passive here. The tailbone is moving slightly forward, but not a tuck, rather just through the natural alignment of the spine. Arms relaxed by the sides. And then what starts with just a gentle bending of the legs. shake it off. And then they move to what's next with this more clear place of presence. Humans, we do the exact same thing, or we should. In relation to somatic therapy, shaking is one of the most beneficial things that we can do to, for lack of better words, release what no longer is. Keep it shaken, last little bit. And on a more physical level, after we do a lot of movement, shaking the body, it allows for the lymphatic fluid to really move in a more effective way throughout the body. It allows the body to regenerate, to heal, to strengthen, to repair, to continue to be our sacred vessel. All right, and now, without abruptly stopping the motion, just slow down the movement slightly. Stop feeding it. Momentum is still going to be present, and eventually the body will come back into a state of stillness all on its own. Keeping your focus within, feel free to find a soft and steady point of focus with the eyes, or keep the eyes closed. As we gently make our way onto our backs, recline butterfly pose, bringing the soles of the feet to touch, knees out wide. You can, as always, make the shape your own. Arms can create whatever shape or non-shape they need to. For today, option is to come into triple diamond goddess, is the word that I learned for it back in Boulder, Colorado. So you'll make a triangle with the hands, bringing the thumbs and the pointer fingers to touch. So we make a triangle with the arms. And then bend the elbows. Now we make a triangle a diamond with the elbows as well. And then relax the back of the hands, the elbows down to the floor. So we find ourselves making 3 diamonds. One with the hands, one with the arms, and the legs. See if you can close the eyes. Take a few slow rhythms of breath in and out the nose. A few rounds of breath, I should say. And just feel the belly rise and fall. Keeping the eyes closed, gently begin to relax your arms by your sides. You can gently guide the knees inwards towards the chest. You might sway a little bit, giving the low back a little bit of love. Our last 2 shapes, spinal twist, open the arms wide, arms out to a T. Shift your hips 1 or 2 inches to the left. Keep the knees in close to the chest as you lower the knees to the right. You can either choose to keep the neck neutral. You could choose to use props underneath the right knee. And you can also choose to look over either shoulder. 5 rounds of breath. Next inhale, bring the knees back through neutral. And then shift your hips 1 or 2 inches to the right. Keep the knees in close to the chest. And lower the knees to the left, supporting the shape in any way that you need to. Settling into stillness. Your last conscious breaths of claps. Let them be full, let them be complete. form, but wherever you are, we are giving ourselves a moment of appreciation. And then make your way to your final resting shape, Shavasana, extending your feet wide, arms wide. Take a moment and lift through the chest, walk your shoulder blades a little bit closer together underneath you. Really take up space. So on a micro level, this is a moment that the body lets to physically integrate this work, as is the mind, as is the heart. It's here that the practice becomes a part of us, and it can move with us as we human. But on a larger level, on a much larger level, quantum level, this practice, it integrates within us, but then it becomes a part of the reality